So the dish we're making today is a creme caramel with a slight little twist. Creme caramel is a very basic, arguably French or maybe Spanish dish. It comes from the 1900s. It specifically was made to help store cream, eggs, and with a little bit of sugar for sweetness. Now, the reason why we have it with a twist is we're going to add star anise, and we're also going to add berries and apples from the Bowood estate. It's a personal favourite of mine because it's my father's favourite, and something that when my mum used to go away, it's about the only thing that we could eat. So it has a special place in my heart. So the basic creme caramel is pretty much 4 ingredients: eggs, sugar, milk, and cream. We're going to first start off by making the caramel. This is to line the molds, and that is simply sugar and water. We're going to bring that directly onto heat, and then we're going to pour it into these molds. We're going to leave it in there to set, and then we're going to make our custard. Our custard we're going to make today, the basic form of it is the milk, the cream, the sugar, and the eggs. But we're going to infuse it with star anise. Now, star anise is a wonderful aniseed flavour. So first of all, we need to make the caramel. We're going to put the sugar into a pan, and we're going to get that hot. And we're just going to make a direct caramel. Just to stop a bit of the crystallization, we're going to add a splash of water, approximately 2 to 3 tablespoons. Here we have the sugar, the water. The water is just to help dissolve the sugar to stop it crystallizing. Now, we need to say it's a really dark color, probably darker than what you would originally have, because that's what's going to give it the depth of flavor and the depth of color to the caramel. Star anise, we're just going to toast them off lightly into a pan. Whole milk's the best for this. You really want to have a rich, really rich, fatty sort of custard. You could use skim milk, but the body and the flavor won't be there. Cream, we use double Jersey cream, local to the area. And then sugar. We're just going to warm that up till it gets to just to a simmer. As you can see now, you can smell the star anise. You can see it starting to smoke. We're going to throw that into there. All that flavour from that star anise is going to go into the milk, into the cream, into the sugar, and that's what's going to give it a very long, bold depth into when you eat the creme caramel. Now for the eggs, we use Beaufort Browns from Clarence Court. Clarence Court is just down the road from Bowood in Laycock. They are the Formula 1 of eggs. We're going to use 5 egg yolks and 3 whole eggs to make this. So crack your egg, start with the yolks first, and then put your shell in half, and then just slowly move the egg yolk around, taking off all the egg whites. Repeat this obviously 5 times. As you can see, these Clarence Court eggs, the yolk is extremely dark. This generally means that they've been fed extremely well. They're organic, they're free range. The yolks aren't the biggest in the world, which is why we're using 5. But the flavour you get from them is absolutely tip top. Next to the whole eggs, 3 whole eggs. Slightly beat them. Just to help them mix in. And now we wait. I started, like I said, when I was 16 years old. I actually went to Bath College, left there after a couple of years, and went on to work at Homewood Park. Homewood Park is just outside of Bath. The hotel Homewood Park was literally half a mile from my house in Liverpool Stoke. Little did I know that I was going to open me up to one of the best chefs in the country. A chef that was very hungry at that time to earn his stripes, should we say. I walked into that restaurant and it was a 2 rosette restaurant. By the time I left, it was a Michelin star and 4 rosette restaurant. Gary Jones is the executive head chef of the Manoir. He's Raymond Blanc's true protege, which Raymond Blanc has many, but he's the only one that's really stuck by Gary for his entire career. And he's now the executive chef of the Manoir, and is also, in his own respect, one of the greatest chefs in the country. So from there, I was very lucky that opened up doors to the Royal Crescent. I worked there again for 3.5 years, and then proceeded to meet a guy called Nick Evans. Now, Nick Evans was my sous chef at the time. He opened the door for me to go do work experiences in places with like the Lettonnet with Martin Blunos, and then I followed him up to Newbury Manor, and then he got his studios up in Newby Manor, and then sadly that came to an end because he left. But before he left, he bought me a cookbook, and the cookbook was family food, and that was done by Heston Blumenthal. Now, everyone knows you cannot add water to chocolate. One of his recipes was about adding water to chocolate. This blew my mind, and therefore the next 4.5 years of my life was spent dedicated in Bray at the Fat Duck. And which, when I started, it was a 2 Michelin star. No one really knew about it. By the time I left, it was 3 Michelin star. Best restaurant in the world 2 times in a row. It went from having 13 chefs to 36 chefs. While I was there, just around the corner is the 3-star Michelin Waterside Inn. On my days off, I used to go work there. I left to go open up 15 in Cornwall for Jamie Oliver, and then from there I went off to go and be do ski seasons and be a chalet chef. But when I say chalet, I can't even say it. When I say chalet chef, I don't mean like a chalet chef. I mean at the top end you can. We're talking people are dropping $250,000 to stay in the place I was working for a week. So a lot of Russians, a lot of footballers, a lot of movie stars, etc. And then from there I went to go work on a cruise liner. And I worked for Celebrity Cruises as executive sous chef and then executive head chef on a cruise liner for 2.5 years. I've seen pretty much all the world there is to see, and then decided to move back to England with my wife. Now we get to the caramel. See, it's very dark in flavour. We're going to pour that into the mould, just so it covers the bottom. Careful, because this is really, really hot. If you get this on your skin, it will burn and it will scar. So please be very, 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 very diligent you don't burn yourself. We're going to put these into the fridge to set. And now we're going to go on making our custard. You don't want that in there, it's not edible, and you certainly don't want to give it to your customers or to your guests. We're going to strain that off through a conical strainer. A conical strainer is the one with the bigger holes. We're going to pour them into the moulds. Now we're going to pour them up about 2/3 of the way. As you can see, the mix is a beautiful, dark, almost an orange-like colour. That's from the Clarence Court eggs. Now we're going to individually clean film them. So the best way to do this, really, is to double wrap them. So fold your clean film over on itself, out like so. Take a knife into half. Now this is going to prevent it skinning. And give it a smooth texture all the way through. Then we're going to steam them for about 20 minutes to half an hour. At Bowood we have Rationale ovens. These are amazing. They're one of the most talented machines that I've ever used. Also, put a lid on it. So into a little pan here, we've got a splash of white wine, a bit of sugar, a bit of water, just make a tiny little syrup. We've got, like I said, we've got beautiful blackberries from the estate, and we've got some lovely apples as well. Using this Alfredo scoop, we're just going to make some little balls. These are going to add little pockets of flavour when you eat the creme caramel. Now, creme caramel in texture is basically a set cream, so it's very, very sort of loose on the palate. So you need some sort of different textures to really, really make it into a beautiful dessert, to a stunning dessert. So into the pan, we're going to put the apple. We're going to slightly poach those until they go a little bit opaque. We're then going to set them into a backpack bag, and then we're going to compress them. Into that, we're also going to add the blackberries. And with these, we are only literally going to touch the pan just to release the juices, just to soften the outer skins. You may find sometimes when you eat blackberries, they're quite hard. This will just make them that little bit softer. Okay, then we're just going to pull those off the heat. They've been in the steamer now long enough. Just be very careful when you open the door. Obviously, steam flies out. Steam creates very hot burns, and they're not as nice as the burns. Just open the door slightly. Let all that steam get out, and then we'll just check them. This one is ready and set. You can see if I take off the clean film, you'll be able to see now. Careful, because they are hot. You'll be able to see they've got a nice wobble on there, and the caramel's just starting to break through. The best way to cool this quickly is in ice water. same as the bain marie aspect, but fill it with ice cold water along there, into the fridge and leave it to set firm. Okay, so here's one that is set and cooled down completely. Now what you need to do, you just need to take your thumb and just break around the sill very gently, and it will just start to come away from the mould. Once you've done that, now we hope and pray that it's going to work. Plate upside down, give it a little shake, and voila, there's the creme caramel. So this is your classic creme caramel. As you can see, it's a beautiful dish, it's a standalone dish, but we just want to elevate it to that next level. So we're going to start by the blackberries. This dish at the moment is currently on our menu. It retails at £8.50. Now the cost of this actually to make is around about the £1.40 mark. So the percentage GP on this is at about 81%, which, as you'll probably learn a bit later on about business, is extremely good. It's one of our best sellers, because we emphasize on the menu that it's all from the estate. Every ingredient on here is within 5 miles of this business, including the cream, the eggs, the blackberries, every single thing, apart from obviously the sugar. Hold on, I need someone to pick that up. And then the apple balls just around. And then we're very lucky, because we do work with the Chefs Forum. We had a visit today from Coppercrest. Coppercrest make amazing microgreens and microcresses and flavour profiles that will just blow your mind. So here we've got some anise flowers and some pizza toppers. These have a very strong anise flavour, which is going to work really well with the blackberries, the apple and the anise crumble, and the anise creme caramel, sorry. One on each apple, all flowing in the same direction. You can dress it up how you like on your plates. It's entirely up to you. Me, I like everything to be extremely uniform. And then a couple of the flowers as well. And then what we're going to do is we also, here at Bowood, we use a company called Wiltshire Truffles. Basically what we've got here is a Hungarian honey truffle, which grows on the Danube banks. It's a very sweet. I'm just going to put some little slices on here. This truffle retails at £380 per kilo, so it's quite expensive, so that we use it very minimal, and then we just tear off tiny little bits just to go on top. And there you have it, star anise creme caramel with blackberries, apples and honey truffle.